Auditor Autistic Audits heads to the BBC building to peacefully film from a public space. But things spiral fast. Two completely unhinged officers arrive, rattling off nonsense about a morning briefing and claiming he matches the description of a wanted person. With zero proper investigation or lawful grounds, they demand his details and, when he stands his ground, they arrest him. Thankfully, Autistic Audits teams up with HNK solicitors, takes the matter to court, and wins the lawsuit against these super bad officers.
How are you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
What are you up to?
Can I ask you why you're engaged in it?
Stop there a minute.
Why?
I'm just trying to identify who you are because you've got your face covered and you've... What's your name, please, sir?
I don't have to give you my name.
Okay, well, at this moment in time, we believe that you might well be wanted. Okay. Well, we'll cross that bridge in a minute once we've confirmed it. So that's why we need to identify who you are. It's all right. We'll do it another way. Just bear with us a second.
You start with your first name, please, sir.
I don't believe I have to provide your name.
Okay. Well, I believe that you're wanted, right? Okay. Just by your description alone, right? So I believe that you're wanted off a briefing that I've received today, right? So we can do it one or two ways.
For what?
Well, wanted for an offence.
What offence?
Well, wanted for an offence of harassment, actually. So I need to check you out in order to see A, if it is you, or B, if it isn't you, right? And if it isn't you, I'll bid you good day and off you go.
The arrest that followed was the breaking point in a chain of poor decisions. Despite never providing clear grounds, the officer forced the situation into custody. It was a textbook example of overreach. No crime, no lawful suspicion, just raw pressure. But this time, justice prevailed. The auditor later confirmed that his case was taken on by HNK solicitors, and not long ago, he announced publicly that he won his claim. That victory is far bigger than one person. It sends a message that unlawful policing comes with real consequences. The incident itself was disturbing. The auditor, known online as Autistic Audit, had simply been filming outside the BBC building, an entirely legal act. Yet officers turned a routine, peaceful moment into a confrontation, citing a generic morning briefing as justification. When the auditor pushed back, standing firmly on the law, the officers grew aggressive. The shouting, the threats, the misuse of a suspect's name, all of it highlighted a culture where authority is used to demand compliance, not serve justice. In the end, the officers didn't prove guilt. They proved how fragile their position really was. This case is a reminder that accountability matters, that rights cannot be trampled without consequences, and that the law ultimately protects those willing to stand their ground. And while one man's win in court cannot erase systemic issues, it is a step toward real change, a signal that abuse of power will not go unchallenged.
So if we start with your first name, or are we going to have to get a fingerprint scanner down here and find out who you are, or take you down to custody to try and identify you because you refuse to give me details?
I haven't committed an offence.
Okay, so if you haven't committed any offences, can I start with your first name, please, sir?
I don't need to give you my first name.
Okay, well, I believe you to be Christopher Green, and I'm detaining you currently.
I am not Christopher Green.
Right, okay,
that's fine.
that's fine, but you're currently being detained up until the point I can establish who you are. You're refusing to give me some details, so I need to establish who you are.
Please ask you to identify yourself?
Yeah, I'm PC 17768 Neil Williams.
And you, please?
Sergeant 15563.
Thank you.
Right,
Which
okay,
station?
So we make it nice and easy for us and start giving just the first name, please.
Can I ask you which station you're from?
Yeah, I work at Withenshaw Police Station, work part of the X Department and part of the Transport Unit for Great Manchester Police.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
So we're going to start with your name then, please. And if there's nothing wrong, then we'll send you on your way.
The auditor's actions remained steady, calm, and lawful. He is not obstructing. He is exercising his legal right not to provide personal details without grounds. Yet the officer twists this into resistance, using threats to force compliance. Instead of presenting lawful suspicion, the officer warns that refusing to cooperate will lead to a long and difficult custody process. This isn't a pursuit of justice. It's punishment for knowing your rights. The reference to the live scan machine exposes the real intent, to inconvenience and pressure the auditor into surrendering information. Threats and coercion should never replace proper procedure. Yet here, that's exactly what we see. Good policing relies on transparency, evidence, and accountability. Resorting to intimidation shows a failure in training and a dangerous mindset that confuses authority with control. Ironically, in trying to force the auditor into submission, the officer ends up proving the auditor's point that rights are only safe when people are willing to stand firm against abuse of power.
It's not Christopher Green.
Okay.
100 Alpha.
And what is your name, please? And have you got anything to identify yourself?
I don't believe I have to answer his questions.
Right. You don't believe that you have to right, okay. Well, I believe you to be wanted, right? So make it easy for us. Give us your details, identify yourself, show me some identification.
I don't believe I have to identify myself.
Well, you do.
We could arrest you, take you to custody and put you on a live scan machine. There's a necessity, if you're not giving your name and address, for us to verify who you are if we believe you to be wanted from the information we've got. So you can
I don't have to do that. You've not provided me with any grounds for an arrest.
Right, take your hands out your pocket so I can see them. I need to identify you. I'm trying to make it easy for you here, sir. So what I want,
I'm not in any threat to you.
No, not at all.
No, I'm not.
You had your hands in your pockets, and I don't know who you are.
No,
up until the point that you identify yourself, make it easy for us. And if it isn't you, and I can establish who you are, and I can clearly identify you, then I'll send you on your way. Right, okay. But by you being obstructive at the moment...
I'm not being obstructive.
Well, you are, because you're refusing to provide some details.
No, because I don't believe lawfully that I have to give you those details because I haven't committed any offence of harassment. I'm sorry.
Right, okay. Well, I believe you to be wanted, so I want you to... I need you to identify yourself in order for me to make those inquiries. And once I make those inquiries and find out that you are either wanted or you're free to go, I will then send you on your way. Okay? Oh, no, excuse me. I'm speaking.
You've asked me whether I'm Christopher Green, and I've said I'm not Christopher Green.
Right, and all I'll say to you is, identify yourself, because
stop giving me orders.
I'm the police here.
Speak to me respectfully.
I have done. I've tried.
Speak to me respectfully.
What I'll say to you is, you're not going anywhere up until the point that I can clearly identify you. Okay.
Right, but please continue to speak to me respectfully. Okay.
So what's your name, please?
To speak to you always respectfully.
Your name, please.
Even after detaining the auditor in full public view, the officer still fails to explain what offense has supposedly been committed. No details, no clarity, only a vague claim that the auditor fits some mysterious description. When pressed for the legal basis of the detention, the officer abruptly shifts the focus, pointing out that the auditor has his hands in his pockets. This is not evidence, it's deflection. Instead of answering the direct question, "What crime do you suspect?" the officer fabricates a distraction. And when pressed further, he admits he doesn't even know who the auditor is. That's the core issue, is not detaining someone for committing a crime, but for failing to identify themselves on demand. The exchange becomes more heated. The auditor calmly explains that he has no legal duty to give his name without grounds, while the officer insists otherwise, raising his voice and declaring, "No, I'm the police here." That angry outburst doesn't validate his authority. It exposes his insecurity. When officers lose composure and rely on shouting instead of reason, it's no longer about enforcing the law. It's about intimidation, plain and simple.
I'm not giving you my name.
Right, have you got any ID on you?
I don't have to do this.
The problem is, we suspect you of an offence.
Why do you believe that you don't have to do this?
Because I don't believe I've committed a criminal offence.
Right, okay. Well, then make it easy for me, sir, right?
I don't have to make anything easy for you.
Yeah, you do, unfortunately.
No, I don't.
Why are you being so obstructive? If you're not committed any offence, we can check your details then.
I don't have to discuss anything with you.
Why are you trying to avoid it?
I'm not trying to avoid anything.
Because it's going to be a long process for you if we have to take you to custody and put you on one of them live scan machines to find out who you are.
Well,
so it'll be a lot straightforward if you just give us your details. We can check if you want to not. If you're not, absolutely fine, which is what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not Christopher Green, and I'm saying I'm not committed to offensive harassment.
Who are you then?
I've just told you I don't believe that I have to give you that information.
The situation escalates when the officer bluntly announces, "I believe you to be Christopher Green." Despite the auditor's calm and direct denial, the officer presses forward. It quickly becomes clear that this isn't about genuine identification, it's about control. The auditor had shown no suspicious behavior, no attempts to evade, no signs of aggression, no reason to believe he was hiding anything. His only stance was protecting his legal right not to disclose personal details without cause. Instead of respecting that, the officer publicly shouts out the name of the supposed suspect. That act alone is reckless. Under the UK's Data Protection Act 2018 and GDPR rules, officers are required to safeguard personal information, not broadcast it in the street without confirmation. By naming someone as wanted without evidence, the officer risks harming two reputations: the auditor's, who has done nothing wrong, and the actual person named, who could suffer reputational damage from careless handling of their identity. It was not only unnecessary, it was unlawful, unprofessional, and deeply irresponsible.
And if I do, then I can give it to your desk sergeant, or I can give it to a judge.
Please, so I can see exactly who you are.
No.
I'm going to let go of your arm now, yeah? Okay. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be putting your hands in your pockets.
Promise you I won't do that.
Okay, because I need to be satisfied that you've not got something that can harm me or anyone else.
I promise you, there's nothing in my pockets that could harm you.
It is, isn't it? Boss.
Do you want to go and have a look at that picture upstairs?
So guys, it looks like I'm going to be arrested here. Can I just turn this off?
Right, you're under arrest on suspicion of harassment.
According to the evidence, unlawfully arrested. I've now passed the case on to HNK, and they are currently considering all of the information before they either accept or reject the case, and I'll let you know what happens there, guys.
Even after detaining the auditor in full public view, the officer still fails to explain what offense has supposedly been committed. No details, no clarity, only a vague claim that the auditor fits some mysterious description. When pressed for the legal basis of the detention, the officer abruptly shifts the focus, pointing out that the auditor has his hands in his pockets. This is not evidence, it's deflection. Instead of answering the direct question, "What crime do you suspect?" the officer fabricates a distraction. And when pressed further, he admits he doesn't even know who the auditor is. That's the core issue. It is not detaining someone for committing a crime, but for failing to identify themselves on demand. The exchange becomes more heated. The auditor calmly explains that he has no legal duty to give his name without grounds, while the officer insists otherwise, raising his voice and declaring, No, I'm the police here." That angry outburst doesn't validate his authority. It exposes his insecurity. When officers lose composure and rely on shouting instead of reason, it's no longer about enforcing the law. It's about intimidation, plain and simple.